Welcome to class today, and I've got a strength one with a little bit of balance. So you don't need any equipment. If you are going to be on a carpet, you might find this a little bit more challenging because carpets tend to make balance harder. So just make sure you have a wall or something close to you. A hard surface is best. But don't shy away from carpets. Challenging yourself is not a bad thing. So let's start at, now with chair pose. We're going to start with chair pose, also known as fierce pose. You can have your legs together, or you can have your legs hip width apart. Now, personally, I like to teach legs hip width apart because that is the shape of our bones in our body. But it's entirely up to you. If you want to have your legs together, you can as well. So what I want you to think of when we're standing in this position is that imagine you have, and you can try this if you've got cushions there or a block, is pop something between your legs and really hug this thing that you've got between your legs, or matron, a block or a cushion, so that there's actually intention in your legs and your bum cheeks. So you'll find that the muscles are activating rather than just stood there like you're standing in the queue at the shops. So we want to have this intention in the body. So as you come into this position, as I say, your choice, legs together or apart. But engage your toes, so gently push your toes into the floor. You're going to feel your arches activate, your thighs, your calves, your knees. And then just send your tailbone down slightly so that you haven't got a sticky out bum. And again, hopefully you'll feel your tummy activate. Roll your shoulders back and down, and then just relax your hands down to the side of you for a moment. So you can close your eyes if you want to. We're just going to take a couple of breaths in this position. Or you can open your eyes and look forward. So just take a nice deep breath, deep down into your belly. And as you exhale, just let any tension go, any stress go. If it's the end of the day, just let all your dramas from the day go. Good. And then blinking your eyes open. So take your hands onto your hip bones. So your hip bones are in the front. As you exhale, I want you to bend your knees and start to send your bum backwards. Okay? Now, in an ideal world, I want you to keep your knee joint directly above your ankle joint. But if you can't keep it there, the only place you don't want to go is take the knees past the toes. So if you look down at your knees and you can't see your toes, your knees are going too far over. So bring your weight back into the heels and lift your toes. I like that little cue because it actually stops people leaning too far forward. Now I want you to imagine you're going to sit on a chair. So send your bum back and down, but we're not dropping the heart down. So we still want to shine the heart forward. And now your hands, I want you to really feel what your pelvis is doing here. So the first thing I want you to do is send your coccyx to the ceiling. So that's called an anterior tilt. So you can see now I've got this big curve in my lower back. Now I want you to imagine you're going to bring your pubic bone to your heart. So now we hunch in the back. That's called a posterior tilt. And I want you to have a little play with anterior, posterior, and I want you to find the middle. And it's usually you can feel the abdominals kick in so that your lower back is flat and it's being supported. And that's the position you're going to be in. You have the choice of keeping your hands here. If you want to take your hands to a prayer position, you can. Or if you want to come into the full chair where the hands are lifted, just be mindful that you don't stick out your bum there. Then you can have your hands out to the front of you. So any of those variations. As we're focusing on balance today, you don't always have to make things harder for yourself. You can just keep your hands here. So, holding it there, take a deep breath and exhale. So we're going to do 2 more breaths here. I know the legs will burn. Remember, stress in the body is not a bad thing in terms of this kind of exercise. Good. Now, on your inhale, come into standing and you're going to lift one leg. So your left leg. As you come up again, you can either keep your hands here or if you want to lift your hands up towards the ceiling. Now what you want to pay attention to is as you lift your leg that that hip doesn't drop out or that you're not rocking from side to side. So squeeze your supporting bum cheek, almost like you're trying to lift out of the hip, and engage your tummy so grow nice and tall. Now if you feel like you're wobbling, I want you to pay attention to your ankles and your feet. So usually people wobble because they're folding onto the outer edge of the foot. So can you bring the weight into the ball of the foot? So holding it there, take another breath. And it doesn't matter if your foot is here, just have a little play with, even if it's 1 second and then pop it down, 1 second, pop it down. It really does not matter. So on your next inhale, bringing the leg down, release the arms down. Take another breath in, hands come up, back to chair pose. So bending your knees and take it back into your chair. So I want you to hold your chair while I'm explaining something. If you are finding chair pose is really difficult on your ankles or your hips, you can pop something under your heels so that your heels are slightly lifted, okay? And that can give you a little bit of space. There's something called Aquinas foot. Without me looking at your feet, I wouldn't be able to tell you. But for people that have Aquinas foot, it's almost virtually impossible to do a chair pose or a squat type position without support under their heels. So if you find you feel like you're falling over, just prop something under the heels. So again, pick which arm variation. Check your lower back. Even I do. Sometimes I find halfway through chair, I'm starting to arch the back. Taking another breath. So start to take yourself into standing, bringing the weight into the left foot. Start to raise your right knee. So again, perhaps you just have your toes on the floor. You know, if you've ever had a foot injury, anything like that can affect your balance over time. And again, you'll have one side that might be a bit better. So as you come up, pay attention to that left bum. Really squeeze your left bum cheek. Try and imagine as you're trying to lift your pelvis bones off of your thigh bones. And you can take the hands up to there if you want to. Find something on the wall opposite you to stare at or on the floor in front of you. And you can even have that supporting leg a little bit more bent. Will give you more muscular engagement. So if you're wobbling, pay attention to your foot. Are you rolling onto the edge of the foot? Can you bring the weight into the ball of the foot? Another breath. And then as you exhale, release the hands down. Marvelous. So have your legs a little wider. Just give yourself another little shake. I do like these flomps. They tend to just release everything. Ah, good. Take a deep breath in, reach your hands up to the ceiling, down to your heart. And from my heart to yours, thank you for practicing with me today.